Hi, I'm Nick. I'm going to be showing you today how to set the dry belt tension on, this is actually an LT40, but it'll be the same whether it's an LT40 or an LT50. And this one has the auto clutch. So it'll be a little different if you have the hand pull, but this one actually has the auto clutch. We got to remove this underneath cover. There's going to be 4 bolts in it. All right, we've got all 4 bolts out of there. Pull the cover down out. And you want to be sure to engage your auto clutch so your dry belt is tight. And here I've got an 18-inch ruler that I'm going to use for a straight edge. And then I've got a belt tension gauge. This belt tension gauge I've already went ahead and taped off at the end here by 7/16 of an inch. That's how far we're going to deflect this belt from its 0 mark. Is 7/16 of an inch. This other end on the gauge here is reading how many pounds it takes to push that 7/16 of an inch. So we're going to make sure that we've got our rubber O-ring that's on here zeroed out. Stick our straight edge up in here, and we want to get it up on underneath the top pulley up there and hold it here so when we deflect it, our straight edge is not moving, only the belt moves. And we're going to want to go as close to in between the 2 pulleys as we can. Now with the board return hanging down here, we're going to go right underneath the board return. In the center of that belt, we're going to deflect that 7/16 of an inch. Bring it down here. Right there it's telling me it took 18 pounds to push that 7/16 of an inch. That's actually what you're shooting for. With this mill, with the diesel engine on it, 7/16 deflection, 18 pounds of force. Now if it was not, all right, if we were not to the proper tension, we have a turnbuckle on the up and down right here. It has a jam nut on the top that we would loosen that jam nut. It takes 11/16 wrench. And then it takes a 7/8 wrench to move the actual turnbuckle there. We want to leave our bottom lock nut locked. We want to adjust that accordingly. A little bit goes a long way, so just go maybe 1/8 of a turn. Check your dry belt again until you have the 18 pounds with the 7/16 deflection. And then after you've made sure that your dry belt is tensioned proper, you want to go back up here to the top of this and this jam nut here and make sure it is snug. The top one and the bottom one. Due to vibration, if those are loose, when you disengage this turnbuckle could move on its own and cause you engine problems if you have your dry belt too tight. So you want to be for sure you tighten your jam nuts on the top and the bottom here so this does not move when you disengage it. Also, if you have to go a long way of moving your dry belt, say it was 10 pound of force and we had to go up to 18, that's quite a bit of movement there. So when we get our dry belt set where we want it, we'll want to disengage our auto clutch and check and make sure that when it's disengaged that we have a gap in between the bottom part of this turnbuckle and the top part here because these slide apart. What that's telling us is we have tension on our brake strap. If we did not have tension on that brake strap, we would have to adjust the brake strap, which is the 2 bolts up here in the top. We would engage our auto clutch again, loosen up these 2 bolts, slide our brake band down a little bit. It's slotted there so we can move it down, retighten that, disengage, and make sure we have a gap in between the center part of this turnbuckle when it's disengaged. And after you've done that, make sure the nuts are tight on the bolts up here. And once again, I would go back and double check and make sure your jam nuts are tight here. Engage it for a last time and make sure you have the 7/16 deflection, 18 pounds of force with your belt tension gauge. And I would check that if it's a new mill, I would check it after about 20 hours. Used mill, I'd check it every 50 to 75 hours just to ensure that you have the proper dry belt tension. So one, you're not wearing out your dry belt. And two, if this dry belt is loose, it's going to cause you cutting problems. You're going to get wavy cuts and things because you're not getting all of your speed, your torque from your engine to the blade if you have a loose dry belt. So that's how you're going to tighten the dry belt on the LT40s and the LT50s with the AutoClutch. So if you have any questions from there, just feel free to give us a call. Thanks.